Yeah, hey everybody, Steph here. So I'm looking at a site, Poloniex, I guess that's how it's pronounced. And it's a place where you can exchange in cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, if you haven't heard about it, it's digital currencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, etc., etc., etc. So there will be some sort of use for these digital currencies or the processes behind these digital currencies. But you have to be very, very careful now because we are now entering into a well-known or a very often seen before mania stage in this asset class. I say that with hesitation because an asset class, by the way, is a Wall Street term, a banker's term for some sort of asset that has some sort of value. That could be a house, it could be stocks, it could be oil, it could be gold, it could be Ethereum, Bitcoin. So each class, each type of asset is categorized into a class, like commodities, like technology companies, like stocks, like bonds, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I'm not going to teach you about investment here, except to say, if you are a young nerd who is salivating at the prospect of buying into one of these cryptocurrencies, please keep in mind a few rules about this type of stuff. We are now entering a mania. Yes, some people will make a lot of money. Most people will lose money. That's just the nature of these markets. Now, if you got into Bitcoin a few years ago, as I almost did, I'd be way up, except the reality of the situation is, I did a video, by the way, when Bitcoin was at $1,000. I said how I lost $12 million by being lazy. Because at the time, it was like 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it is, Bitcoins were about 4 or 5 cents a piece, and I was going to buy $500 worth of Bitcoin. But it was so hard to buy back then because the exchanges were very primitive, that I didn't get to it. I went through 3 to 4 stages and I just forgot about it. So it's a bit of a joke. It was a bit of a joke, a bit of tongue-in-cheek when I said I lost 12 million, because the fact of the matter is, anybody would tell you who's traded, unless I would have forgot about them, about the Bitcoins, I can guarantee you there's no way if I would have put $500 and I would have went to 10,000, I wouldn't have sold most of them, right? That's just the nature of this. And that's what people will do. But that's what the smart thing is to do, I guess, with these crazy speculative investments, if you will. But don't kid yourself. This is not an investment. When you're buying something like a Bitcoin or an Ethereum coin, which is basically something that's given value because it's perceived that it might be worth something, kind of like Cabbage Patch dolls. If you go back in history, not too long ago, Cabbage Patch dolls were all the rage and they were shooting up in value. Not as much as Ethereum, but they were shooting up. And everybody said, oh my God, these things are collector's items and they're going to be worth a lot. And people were paying hundreds of dollars for Cabbage Patch dolls. Now you can't give them away. And there's a lot of them in landfills now. So keep that in mind. It's like 1980s comic books. 1980s comic books at one point shot up in value, but they've since collapsed as far as I'm told. Now certain things will hold their value, but it's a very dangerous thing. So when you have a mania situation now where everybody's hearing about it's on the news, people, oh my God, Bitcoin. Just like when gold and silver went crazy a few years back, gold shot up from $1,000 to $1,850 an ounce of gold, and now it's something like what, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. It's been sitting there. So people who bought at $1,800, they got killed. They lost almost half their money. Same thing with silver. I did it. I was involved in this. I watched silver go all the way up from like $12, whatever it was, to $49 and change. I remember the night actually. And it was such a spike up, kind of looked like Ethereum as you see here in this chart. It went like this, woo! And I got out, sold all my silver, sold all my gold within 2 days. I was lucky because 3 days later, my friend who waited an extra day or two, he just broke even where I made a pretty good coin, pun intended, with my silver. But that was a fluke. I just got out by some stroke of luck. It wasn't because I was a genius. It could have kept going up. Who knows? Because when you have this type of mania situation that we see here with the digital currencies, This is not a situation where the prices are being moved because of some fundamental truth underlying these digital currencies. This is purely emotional. This is purely emotional. You are now, if you invest, and there's a chance you could do well, you can make some money. But if you invest, you are gambling on the emotional predisposition of everybody who's jumping into this. So be careful with that. As Warren Buffett says, the most successful investor of all time with a long, long track record. When everybody's greedy, be fearful. And when everybody's fearful, be greedy. So everybody's greedy now for these things, so I would be fearful. But I'm not giving you any investment advice because I don't have a crystal ball and I don't know what's going to happen here. Also keep in mind, most fortunes are made by people who gradually invest over time and hold on to their positions. Like I would have been at this point with Bitcoin well over 2,000, I would have been worth 25 million US. If I would have held. Good luck with that. All right. We'll talk soon.